Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Faithfully Asia, and if this is the first time you're visiting, welcome. For those of you who know me, my channel is mostly comprised of beauty content, including makeup, try-on hauls, and the bulk of my videos being wig reviews. However, today I got something new for you guys. Today is the first of many videos as I work on expanding my channel's reach to include things I love, which is home decor. For all my faithfuls, you guys may have known that I moved at the beginning of March, at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm renting a condo in LA, and while I really love the space that it provides, one of the things that I really didn't like about the condo was the kitchen. So today I'll be sharing with you some of the things that I did while on lockdown to update my dated kitchen. Most of the renovation is really renter friendly. However, some things may require permission from the person you're renting from. This whole renovation cost me a little over $300. However, I think that for the average kitchen size, it will run you just about or under $200. Okay guys, I'm about to tackle this project of staining these kitchen cabinets. I really hate the color of these cabinets. It makes this kitchen look very dated. So this is something that I thought long and hard about because most of the videos I've seen so far involved removing the cabinet's door. But as you guys can see, I have a lot of cabinets. So I'm not going to do all of that, okay? What I am going to do is I'm going to attempt to remove these first 3 cabinet doors. And then with the rest, I'm going to just freestyle it and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so first I'm going to start off by removing the cabinet doors. There are 2 hinges inside. There's one on the bottom and then there's one on the top. Now these cabinets are pretty old, which means there's a lot of oil and dirt gunked up on it. So it was a little bit challenging. Okay, so I had trouble getting the cabinets off, so I'm going to just leave them. I'm only going to take these 3 off. I did apply some of the painter's tape along the baseboards and the side of the microwave. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you start painting is make sure that you have a clean surface. So I'm going to spray this Zep degreaser on top of the cabinets and let it sit for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to go on top of it using my Scotch-Brite to wipe it down. And this helps remove any built up grease that may have been on the cabinets over time. And then once I'm finished scrubbing, I took a clean towel and wiped it dry. So one of the things that first had me apprehensive about painting these cabinets was the thought of having to sand them all down. So the stain that I decided to go with is the General Finish stain. And there's a lot of people who said that they actually stained the cabinets without even sanding them down. So initially I started sanding it using my sander, but then after that I just decided to take a sanding sheet. I think it's about 200 grit. I'll double check and have it in the description box, and sand the remaining of the cabinets by hand. This was pretty easy and it wasn't too labor intensive. Okay, so now we're ready for the fun part. So we began staining the cabinets, and you just want to apply a light layer of the paint, all going in the direction of the wood grain. And you want to be sure to apply the paint in the grooves of the cabinet along the sides. And I'm going to do the back of the cabinet after this first coat dries and I flip it around. One downside about this stain is that it does take about 6 to 7 hours to dry, which is one of the reasons why I just decided to keep the cabinets up. This allowed me to paint the front and the back at the same time to save some time. So initially when my friend was painting the cabinets, he was taking his time trying to do it all nice and neat. And then when we finished the first coat, we noticed that there were some patches shown within the top coat. Let me see. Let me see some. This is how lazy I am. This is how my gonna go. That you doing? Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that with all these damn cabinets. All right. Okay, so after I finished touching it up, I began to wipe it off because the stain says to let it allow to sit between like 3 to 5 minutes and then wipe off. But because he was taking his time applying the first layer, being really precise, the paint actually began to dry. So I had to go on top of the drying paint with another light coat of paint, and that did end up loosening it up, and it allowed me to continue to wipe the paint off. Okay, so this is what the cabinets look like after the first coat. As you can see, it's slightly darker, but not much. So I decided to just forego the wiping of the staining and to just start painting it and to let it dry. So I'm going to show you what the first coat of the paint looks like. This is what the coat looks like now that we just painted it, and we're going to leave it to dry, and I guess we'll do any touch-ups that's needed afterwards. This color looks so dark though, it almost looks black. Thank God it really was just the lighting. Okay, so this is what the cabinets look like after we let the second coat sit without wiping it off. So as you can see, there are some spaces that needs to be touched up, but for the most part it took really well, so we don't really need to do too much. Just fill in the little gaps you'll see here and there. And then like for little places where it seems like really uneven. Let me see, it's not really picking up in the camera. Like right here, you could probably see. And I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna just sand it lightly with the sanding paper before I do that last coat. So now guys, I'm gonna use this Minwax Wipe On Poly, and I bought a pack of microfiber cloth, so I'm gonna take a clean cloth and shake this up, and I'm just gonna put some onto the cloth. Before you do the cabinets, I think it's easier to just come in and apply it to the inside first. Do it around the borders. And then you could go to the cabinets. Start across the top, slide it across, down, and over. You basically want to follow the same way you paint it, and don't forget to get underneath. You want to protect the edges because those are going to be heavily used. Then come in the side to the inside, and then apply it to the middle. I personally don't want it to show white. You see how it looks a little white right here? I just kind of go over it so it's no white streaks. And then you proceed to do that for the remainder of the cabinets. And that's going to be the first coat. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I applied the Wipe On Poly to all of the cabinets. and it tells you to allow it to let it dry for 2 to 3 hours. So it's been about 3 hours right now. The next step you're gonna need, they tell you to sand the cabinets with a 220 grit. I've also seen someone use one of these like green pads as an alternative. But since I picked up a 220 grit from Home Depot, I'm gonna just use this pad. And then I'm gonna just lightly sand it. And guys, as with everything, you want to sand in the direction of the wood grain. Next, I'm gonna go on top of this with a clean microfiber cloth and just wipe any dust off. And then you're gonna go ahead and repeat the same step over and apply the second coat of the wipe on poly. You wanna make sure you use a clean cloth when you do that. I'm going to just go ahead and repeat this step on the remainder of the cabinets, and then I'm going to do the same thing over for the third time because it does require 3 coats. I am going to need another one of these. I thought this one would be enough, but it's obviously too small. I have too many cabinets. If you don't have as many cabinets as me, one may be enough for you. So this is what the cabinets looks like once I finish adding that top coat. Now I am ready to add the cabinet handles. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is we want to add a strip of tape. Just adding the tape is going to help us be able to properly mark where we want to drill the holes. Hi, this is my trusty assistant. Say hi. Hey. Okay, so I got this little template tool off of Amazon, and we just kind of move the holes to align with the cabinet holes that we're gonna put on. I know it looks like he's been here helping all along, but he wasn't. I painted these cabinets by myself, with the help of my daughter, of course. But hey, it's hard to find good help nowadays. Now I'm thankful. But anyway, what we're gonna do is just basically mark where we want to apply the handles. Wait. Let's put the handle just to test. Just to test. Yes, we want them to be careful too. A smart person once said, measure twice, cut once.
You gotta tell them to make sure when they drill.
Okay, so what he was saying before the drill cut him off is that when you drill, you want to make sure you align the bit to the mark that you made on the tape and then start drilling, opposed to starting the drill before placing the bit on the tape. And be careful when peeling the tape off, especially if you do it on fresh paint, because it is possible that the paint can peel, mainly being oil paint. And then last, you just want to go ahead and screw the handles in. And that's pretty much it. It's not really hard to apply these handles. I was pretty happy about that, especially seeing how many cabinets I had to go apply them to. Okay, so in this segment, I'm going to actually finalize my updates to the kitchen area. And I will be adding the removable backsplash that I purchased. I picked these up off of Amazon. They are the Tic Tac Tiles. They're the peel-in stick wall tiles. Now, I am going to be covering over this granite, and I'm gonna just preface this and say, ordinarily you wouldn't want to cover granite with a peel-in stick tile, but since I'm renting, I don't care about that. The normal things that comes into consideration when having a home doesn't affect me in any way. I'm not really sure how this is gonna look, but it's gonna have to work at this point because I've purchased it and I can't return it because I had it too long. Okay, so just to give you guys an update, This microwave has been painted now for about 5 months. It's holding up pretty well. If you want to see the video on how I painted this microwave stainless steel, make sure you stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with the tiles is you want to make sure you're thickening it on a clean surface. So I purchased this WD-40 cleaner and degreaser from Amazon, and I'm just going to use this to wipe this down before I get started. The next thing I'm going to do is remove these outlets just to make it easier to apply the tile. These tiles are made to overlap each other. At first I was having a hard time figuring out which side went under as opposed to which side went over. And I think you can probably do it either way. But what I came to find out that works best for me is that the silver part should go on the bottom, and then the clear part from the other side of the tile should lay on top. And I found that that way made it lay seamless and you weren't able to tell where each tile began or end. So to do the first tile, you're gonna need to cut the overlapping part out so that it could sit flush against the wall. I thought I was showing you guys what I was doing, but apparently I was blocking it all. And you think my daughter would tell me, but no, she's playing with the camera. But anyway, you guys could really see right here what I mean. I laid the first tile and then the second tile laid perfectly on top of those silver lines to have a seamless transition between each tile. Now, installing these tiles are pretty easy. The only extra work you're going to really come into is cutting around the outlets and when you get to the corners. So when I got to the corners, I marked the sheet on the top as well as on the bottom. And then I took it to my little instrument, cutting instrument that I got from Amazon, and I cut it. So when I cut it, I'll have 2 even pieces and I'm able to lay down the first piece. And after I lay it down, you'll see that it sits flush against the wall. Of course, this I ran into an outlet, so I just took my X-Acto knife and cut around the outlet. You don't have to really worry about cutting it too perfect because once you put the outlet cover on top, you're not even gonna see it. And then I took that second piece that I cut, and as you can see, when I put it in the corner, it lays perfectly. Well, you're not going to really see it lay perfectly right here. I did have to like pick it up and adjust it. And that's another thing. These tiles are very forgiving. You can peel them up, readjust. If you don't lay it down perfectly, it doesn't matter, and it still holds the stick. And then once you figure that out, how to cut around the outlets and to do the corners, that's pretty much it. The rest of it is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to show you guys just a little bit of just how easy it was to lay the rest of those tiles down. And once you get in a little rhythm, it finishes up really quickly. And last but not least, you want to replace those outlet covers that you took off. And that's pretty much all you have to do to lay these tiles. So guys, I hope you're ready for the final reveal. And this is what my kitchen looked like. Let me give you guys a quick reminder of what it looked like when I first moved in. And this is what it looks like now. Not a bad upgrade for a rental space, and I paid, like I said, a little over $300. I think the average renter, it would cost a lot cheaper because my space was pretty big. And I really like the way that it all turned out. I feel like the backsplash helped brighten up the kitchen a little bit since the cabinets were so dark. And now my kitchen has more of a modern feel to it, and it didn't come with a hefty price tag. So if you guys found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in seeing what else I do to this rental space, be sure and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. I have a lot of video films and I can't wait for you to see it. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to add, I did also change out the kitchen faucet. I found those on Amazon, and it was around $70. And I also did add a couple of lights underneath the cabinets. I got those from Home Depot. They were pretty cheap as well. I'll be sure to have everything linked in the description box down below. And as always, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. And if it be God's will, I'll see you in my next video. Take care now.